Time now for our PIX panel, and joining us this week for the roundtable discussion, PIX 11 political reporter Henry Rosoff back with us, Julia Marsh. She is the bureau chief for the New York Post from City Hall, and Ben Max back with us from the Gotham Gazette. So good morning to all three of you. Thank you for being here. And Julia, welcome to the program.
Thanks so much.
So the big issue that we're talking about this morning continues to be gun violence. We're seeing action on all levels, community, state, federal, right? But Governor Cuomo says this needs to be treated just as like an epidemic like COVID. So Julia, let me begin with you, because all eyes right here are on the mayor and what he is doing. Is he doing enough in terms of getting cops out on the streets?
I think the consensus is no, he's not, because he keeps sending cops to Times Square. We keep having violent incidents there, shootings. Same with the Bronx, where we had 3 teenagers killed within 5 days of each other. And he hasn't even made an appearance up there. You have potential next mayor, Eric Adams, saying that, cops need to be deployed more in hotspots and more smartly. So it sounds like there's still some tweaks that could be made to improve safety.
Yeah, and I think that goes then, Henry, to the question of, is this affecting the recovery from the pandemic, right? We're talking about specific areas in the boroughs, but then you look at a place like Times Square and they're trying to get tourist money back. How is it affecting recovery here?
I think absolutely. You just look at the MTA ridership numbers, especially the subways. That shows you that the tourism is down. Your hotel occupancy shows you the tourism is down. I was right in front of the Macy's flagship talking to Curtis Sliwa the other day, and we were surrounded by, homeless individuals who were at times harassing tourists. Some were splayed out on the sidewalk, passed out. I mean, there's really a sense on the street. Yeah. You don't have to walk very far to feel what's happening in the city.
Yeah, and at this past week's gun violence events, you saw front and center, both in D.C. and with Governor Cuomo, Eric Adams, front and center. Curtis Sliwa, as you said in your piece, was like, hey, what about me? I'm still here. He's not the mayor just yet. So, Ben, let's talk about, in terms of this general election here, is there really a general election? Is everybody just saying, hey, Adams won, especially when you look at fundraising?
Well, there's absolutely a general election here, and we should all treat it as such. Now, we can acknowledge that Eric Adams has some very serious advantages, both money and the voter enrollment in the city, but there is a general election. There's even other people on the ballot besides those two, and they should all be heard. Curtis Sliwa does need to pick up the fundraising. He's someone who can run a string shoe budget for a campaign because he's so well known. He's such a personality. He knows how to make news. He knows how to get himself in front of the cameras and into the papers. But he also needs to develop a fundraising infrastructure to have any chance here, and we should be paying attention to it.
He seems to be running on one platform, and that's Law and Order, saying, look, I can handle this. Julia, I want to get to some of your reporting from this week, from the past week. Adams, not yet elected, but already embraced by Governor Andrew Cuomo. Adams then at an event with the mayor, the current mayor, de Blasio, behind him, and he said, I am your mayor. This is Eric Adams speaking. And then later on says something along the lines of, I'll wake up and be here for you. Are the two friends?
They like to insist that they are. Their people say that they have a cordial relationship. But multiple sources told me at the Democratic County dinner the other night there was definite tension between the two, and that the much taller current mayor actually had to lean over the shoulder of Eric Adams and grab the mic from him so he could have his moment on stage, even though he really is the current elected leader of the city.
But there was also, during the campaign, this whole idea that de Blasio was secretly, even though he never came out and endorsed anybody, secretly was pushing for Eric Adams.
Yeah, there was, and clearly all of the candidates said that they wouldn't take an endorsement from the mayor. They saw that as toxic. So maybe there was some behind-the-scenes jockeying, talking to labor leaders who support both men. You had Eric Adams at the Hotel Trades Council union this week. That was a major supporter of the president, even of his failed presidential campaign. And that's where Eric Adams actually said, you'll have a mayor in me who wakes up and gets to work early in the morning. So it's a little bit of a push and pull, some tension, some cooperation.
It was a rare tweak. Adams has been more careful than that moment usually, but I think now that he's the nominee, he's kind of getting
Well, he's got all the power and the momentum. You saw this even with his appearance with Governor Cuomo. He's out there saying, I'm the face of the Democratic Party. I'm the true original progressive, while the governor's standing there with him. So you can tell he's got a lot of wind at his back and feeling pretty good about his station right now.
All very, very interesting. I want to get to another big headline from the past week, and that was the push to decriminalize marijuana on a federal level. So, Henry, let me bring this to you, because Senator Chuck Schumer is leading the charge on this. But what would it actually mean for New Yorkers? Well, is it already happening?
It is already happening here based on directives coming out of the mayor's office through the police department and how district attorneys generally are treating this. So Here, I don't know how much of an impact it has. Democrats are certainly pitching this as a sort of form of criminal justice reform, while negotiations between Senator Cory Booker and Senator Tim Scott are stalled on bigger police reform. Could absolutely have an impact. I mean, you talk about where stop and frisk, or what stop and frisk was so often premised on, and it was these very minor amounts of marijuana.
Here's where it could have an impact is college campuses in New York City, which currently students are not allowed to smoke pot because they receive federal funding. So, you know, you have marijuana on the streets all around you, but on CUNY campuses, on any other college campuses in the city, students can't smoke pot.
All very interesting. Ben, Julia, Henry, thank you. Bringing me back to my RA days when I had to go around the halls and you smell the marijuana coming from a doorway. But that's a story for a different day. All three of you, thank you for being here this morning. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan.